and many things.
Chris wants that picture. If you can send it to me, I can send. I'll send you. No, I'll send it to you. That was
Yeah.
All right, somebody's not muted.
Me. That's me. I'm sorry.
I see you, Coco. Yes, girl.
So difficult, isn't it?
Bark at the moon.
Oh, shout out to G. What's up, G?
G just showed up. Oh, whoa, look at that.
What up?
Whoa, you're not muted. Holy moly.
I'm muted.
Dang.
You gotta actually
I think
push the yes button. I know.
Justin, what's up, brother? Good to see you, man.
Victor's in the house. Justin. Sumpao. Pow.
We know that name because I say it over 100 times.
Sumpao.
Yeah, let's keep going.
Can you put the mouse on the screen so we can see who's up there?
Stop names.
We got director of Bradley's house in the house.
Nice.
Nice.
Woo, woo.
What is that?
Bradley House.
What's up, guys?
What is that, a treatment center?
Yeah.
Obviously.
I love that.
That is
Oh,
awesome.
where'd they go? Oh, they're there.
What's up, locos? Hey, Michael.
Julian's in the house. What
Yeah.
you doing, Julian? You driving?
Yep.
Yeah, Julian's driving.
Wow, it got quiet there for a second.
Yeah, dude.
What the hell's going on, man? We're never quiet like that.
Hey, what's up, y'all? I love you guys, man.
Yeah,
I love
baby.
you guys,
Yeah,
man.
baby.
I love it.
Nice.
It says there are 16 participants, but I only see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
We're having technical difficulties, you guys.
Yeah,
Bear
we
with
have
us.
two technicians here.
We have new
Yeah,
technicians
two
in
new.
the house.
Two new.
Two new
Two
ones.
new.
So just bear with us.
One I believe, is still in school.
And they're crashing and burning at the moment.
One's still in
Crashing
school. We're not
and
sure what's
burning.
going on with that one, but you know what I mean? We're going to hang out with them a little bit with them.
Yeah. Pray that the meeting.
So it
works.
says we have 16 participants. We can only see like 5.
Yeah.
So that's what's confusing us.
I think you hit the top button that says view all. There's that one maybe?
No, don't leave it on the gallery. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
Almost there, guys. We're almost there.
Don't do that, Jake.
Why is it yeah, there's like 5 ghosts.
Alright, you guys are muted, so.
Yeah. Who's that? Who's that talking there? Was that the group?
Yeah, that's the
You
group.
know what? It is. It's actually, it is just multiplied by 4 because we got 5 guys here in the group.
There we
That's
go.
cool. We got,
I love that.
yeah.
I love the group vibe.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Are you guys good? All is
Are
good?
you good? We ready to rock and roll?
Yeah, a lot of chatter back
Louis, good luck on your final.
there. A final tonight.
Yeah.
All right. I don't see us though. Are we up there? Boom. There we are. All right.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Yeah.
that works.
Nice.
All right, guys. Welcome to the Tuesday night Recover Out Loud meeting. Super grateful to have everybody in the house.
Yes. Thank you guys for showing up.
And your name is Audra, correct?
Audra.
Audra. We've got Audra in the house tonight. She's going to be our speaker. She's going to speak for 20 minutes.
Mhm.
Shane, tell us a little bit about the Recover Out Loud meeting.
Well, Recover Out Loud is a meeting that we started about, 4 months ago?
Yeah.
6 to 7 o'clock on Pacific, and we recover out loud. We share our stories of hope, and we of gratefulness, and we're gonna have Audra from where are you from? Chino Hills. Yeah, she's gonna talk for 20 minutes. We're gonna open it up.
Yeah. What about you, Nat?
And just for a reminder, this does not take place for a meeting that you guys or whatever you all are doing for your own personal 12-step recovery. This is just like an extra little cherry on top.
Add on.
We are, we recover out loud. It's not your traditional normal AA meeting, but we do spread a lot of experience, strength, and hope, and welcome every single person to this meeting. And don't forget that it is recorded, so if you don't want to have your face on camera, you can just turn your camera off, and that's all good.
Yeah. I think that's about it.
I think that I think we hit everything. If that's is any other more house cleaning or keeping?
No.
No? All right.
Shall we
We're
get
gonna.
into the nitty gritty?
Yeah.
Yeah, why don't you guys ask her some questions? Because I'm going to go live on Instagram here real quick.
Nice.
You guys get it rolling for me?
Hold on. Okay, yeah. So she's gonna talk for 20 minutes. We're gonna open it up, and you're gonna get 2 minutes to share or respond to whatever she's talking about, and then you're gonna hear what sound are you gonna hear when it ends.
Push the buttons on the sound, and I'll tell you when you get to the right one.
Emily, do you know? So basically,
I'll tell you.
You guys all know the drill.
Audra, take it away.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me. So I'm going to start with my childhood and where my addiction started. I was 10 years old, and I had a lot of problems at home. Mother was always fighting with stepfather, and I discovered marijuana, acid, speed, and I discovered, the rave scene very, very young. I had a lot of older friends and step siblings, and so I started to just run away from home. And it got really bad when I turned 13 years old, and I was just very unhappy. The addiction, the depression, the adolescence had me believing that I was not worth anything, that I was stupid. And, I never really had a teacher try with me. And so I just believed that I was just good for one thing, and that was just numbing, running. I got pregnant when I was 16 to get away from home.
Wow.
And I had my first daughter, Journey, when I was 17. And by the time I was 19, I had 2 daughters. I had my second daughter, Sierra, and I had dropped out of high school. I want to say I didn't even complete the 8th grade. So I barely made it into the 9th grade. And I really honestly did believe that I was stupid, that I was worth nothing. It was just the biggest lie. And the drugs and the friends and the situations and the danger and not having safety just led me down a path where I truly did live it and believe it. And, I even acted in a way that, I just didn't use my brain. I didn't even talk in my own voice. I ended up in a really bad environment in the strip club scene, and it just messed with my mental health and my self-worth even more. Every relationship I was in, I was recreating what I was already believing in myself, which was like, I deserve to be nothing. And every relationship I was in with any man was always, beating me up, leaving me, telling me that I was stupid, busting out my windows, just doing all kinds of things that, I felt was so normal, and it was so comfortable for me because it's exactly how I saw myself. I didn't have self-love. And I didn't realize at the time that I was doing drugs and harming myself to fill a void. And I didn't realize that it was because I didn't love myself. I didn't realize that until I did learn to love myself. My addiction stole so much from me. It just, for so long, for about 20 years, I believed every single lie, and addiction just fed that lie like a snowball going down a hill. It just kept getting bigger and bigger and bigger until, there weren't enough drugs and alcohol to numb the pain that I was feeling. And in 2011, I lost all 4 of my daughters. to DCFS, and it wasn't even a wake-up call for me. It was a reason to just die. I just went years. I went about 3 or 4 years with them in the system, just living a life of just separate from reality and from the world around me. And nothing anyone could have done or said, I don't believe, except for God, could have pulled me out of it, because I was ultimately at my worst, and I didn't want to be here anymore. And so I think that through everything that's happened to me, throughout my addiction, the close encounters with death, I had a stroke, this really bad thing that always sticks out to me that I haven't really ever said, like, to anybody, was the same officer that came when they took my children into the system was the same officer that came one time at a Motel 6 and met me at the hospital. And I tried to tell this officer, what had happened to me. I had been drugged and I had been raped in the worst kind of way. I had been sodomized, and I tried to tell them in the hospital, and the same officer shows up and tells me, I don't care about your sex life, honey. Like, stop lying. They wouldn't do rape kit on me. And that was just like, that wasn't even at the lowest point of my addiction, but that's just a good testament to how low I was feeling and how I felt like, okay, well, this is my life and this is what I deserve. Like, this is my comfort zone. There's nothing else better for me out there ever. And so about a year later, I had taken like rusty scissors from Home Depot and I had cut my hair, because I knew that somewhere inside of me, I knew that my looks had gotten me away for so long, and that if I was ugly, then I would have enough courage to end my life. And so I was, my addiction, let me back up, my addiction was meth and alcohol. And so in 2014, I was in a motel. I love this part of my story so much, because it's my come to Jesus moment. And I was in a motel. It was checkout time. I had one sandal on, and my hair was chopped up. I looked like a mess, just crazy, like crackhead Barbie, tattoo Barbie. Like, I was a welfare mama without the food stamps. I had nothing. I had no resources at all. It was sad. Even I felt bad for myself at that point. Like, no, you may deserve just a little more than this. You are at your rock bottom. But I got down on my knees and I prayed this prayer that I'd seen on my grandma's wall, which was the footprints in the sand. And I said, Lord, I said, I know you're there. I said, please take me home, or, give me the courage, like footprints in the sand, and carry me, because I can't do it anymore. I don't want to die, but I don't want to live like this. So please, either one, just do it, please. And, at that time, that was in 2014 in October. At the time, I was like 6 months pregnant, but I wasn't pregnant. Like, my tubes are tied. So this was my liver, and my kidneys were so inflamed, and I was only 30. I was young. I shouldn't have been. It was just my health was fading. I probably had 6 months if I hadn't gotten right and gotten sober. So I called a sober friend, and I didn't even have the shakes. I didn't have any kind of calm down. It was amazing. I prayed for the Lord to find me a place that would be perfect. I knew that I had codependency issues. I knew that I struggled with self-love. I couldn't even look in the mirror in my own eyes, because that's how ashamed I was of myself. It was so strange. And I wasn't even that bad of a person, but my whole life it had been that way. And so I get into this place for domestic violence, for addiction, for women, faith-based, and it was just so perfect. And we're doing these crafts, and we're doing this little God box. And I remember in the God box putting my little notes. I tuned the whole world out. Like, I had naysayers. I had counselors telling me, you're crazy. Like, you're never going to get your kids out of the system. They're already being adopted out and this and that. I'm like, well, that's not why I'm here. Like, I just want them to forgive me someday. And in my little God box, I'm putting these little tiny notes. And the first one was like, okay, Lord, please just let my 4 daughters forgive me one day. Just let me just be forgiven by them, maybe when they're older. Let me just take the next years of my life to show them that I can be healed and that I can be a better woman and a better mother. And maybe they'll see that and let me into their lives when they turn 18. And then in the box, I put my GED because like I said, I always felt like I was stupid. And I'm like, if I could just get that, like, I could really show people, like, I'm smart. Like, screw all those teachers in high school that told me I was dumb. Like, I could do it. And then I never even dreamed past that, to have a bed and a dresser and an endless supply of water and not have pancreatitis was in the box, like, just to get back into health, because somewhere inside of me, I always loved health and wellness. And so, when I look back in that box now, so after that treatment center, I finished that. I did my outpatient. When I look back in that box now in my recovery, it's so amazing how short I sold myself and how God surpassed everything just to this higher than any kind of math equation I could ever even come up with, because I suck at math. But like in my recovery, it wasn't just the things that I was able to accomplish. First, it was just the peace of mind, like being able to sleep without the constant battle and being your own worst critic and my own worst enemy and all of that. Just everything was so peaceful. I had new eyes. Everything I saw and smelled, I felt like a baby, like I was reborn. And I was reborn in Christ. It was amazing. And so the very first thing that happened that God blessed me with, I got all 4 of my children back out of the system.
Amazing.
Yeah, and it was a miracle because it was way past the time to get them back. I had to file 388, and I just prayed. I kept going to church. I kept going to my meetings. I kept doing my outpatient. They told me to stay for 3 months. I stayed for a whole year. I'm like, free therapy, like, I'm here. I want it. I craved it. And it was so beautiful to experience that healing, to where, like, I remember the very first day where I looked in the mirror and I actually could stare at my own eyeballs without being afraid or turning away. It was amazing. And, I eventually got my daughters back, all 4 of them. And I got my GED in 2016. And from there, I kept going. I got my substance abuse counseling certification. I got my associates in addiction. I got my bachelor's degree. I'm working on my master's degree.
Wow.
And it's not even like something that I talk about a lot, but it is just proof to myself that I'm not stupid and how much of a liar addiction is and the enemy is, and, bad people, and, even friends that don't have our best interests at heart, as I had a lot of those people around me, a lot of takers, a lot of bad boyfriends, a lot of even family members. Some certain family members were just, adding to that emptiness that I was experiencing. So I'm very careful now, and not so much that I need to be, because I have discernment and wisdom, and I've done a lot of work. Like, I didn't just transform a few things. Like, I run 7 days a week, 5 miles every day, because if I'm not doing this, I'm going to be doing that. I celery juice every day. I'm like a walking infomercial. Everything I do, if it's a vitamin or a freaking something in the sea, I make everyone around me do it, because I'm like, you have to try this. Like, you have to try.
Kind of girl.
Yeah, it sounds like me, doesn't she?
Kind of girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's amazing to be able to wake up and have that, like, zest. And one thing that I want to say, my recovery hasn't been linear. It's been very hard. Like, in my recovery, I lost my mom and my dad in a very short amount of time. And my mom was a marathon runner and an RN, and she was even healthier than I am, and she got brain cancer. And my father's a vet, and he was a lieutenant in a prison, and the best man. He showed me Jesus, and he died right after from fatty liver. But the best part about it was that I was able to say, God, let your will be done, and give me the strength. Because if I were out there on the streets, there's no way that I would be able to handle this. But I have a sound mind, and I have peace, and I have my daughters, and I'm going to get through this. And so my recovery is very, very important to me. I get a constant reminder working in the field of addiction. I get to help people. And it's a good thing, because some part of me does love, like, the world of addiction still. Like, I still catch myself saying things, and I'm like, dang, I still sound like I'm in my addiction. But it's a part of me. And so I get to not just be on the other side of the table, so to speak, when I'm working with clients, but I'm with them. Like, I'm still there. There's just time that separates us. There's nothing different that separates what I did from what they can do. And I just encourage everyone to find your formula. Mine is faith, family, fellowship, friends, fitness, and then that's when my foundation comes. When I feel rooted the most is when I remember all of those things and I step out of my comfort zone. Thank you, Fausto, for pushing me to come today too.
Yeah.
Because it's really difficult sometimes in recovery. For me personally, I was in a bubble.
Yeah.
And I was afraid to grow because I was afraid that if I stepped out of my comfort zone, that I might end up back in addiction. But it's not the case at all. Like, push yourself to grow and whatever it may be, health, goals, dreams, we can do anything as long as we have like a few people. And then I have to say this because I was running this morning and then it came into my mind and then I took a shower and it came in my mind again.
Yeah.
And so I think it's very important to find our tribe. I hear that a lot and it's so true. To find our tribe, our people that are, friends that want the best for us, that have our best interests at heart and are not transactional friends. Because there's a lot of that in addiction. It's very hard because you don't know who to trust. But when we're in recovery, we have our internal compass is just heightened and our wisdom and discernment is on point. So we have the skills and the tools when we go through, the 12 steps, when we go through, inpatient, outpatient. We know what is good for us and what is not. So let's just be brave enough to weed out all of the bad and to find, if you haven't found your tribe yet, find your Mr. Miyagi. Because all it really takes is one person to cheer you on that believes that you can do it when you don't believe in yourself. Yeah. And you find yourself, whoa, look at me. I didn't think I could do it. I could never even get through 9th grade, and now I'm in my master's program. Mm-hmm. And I'm telling you, I thought I was dumber than a box of rocks. So if I can do it, anyone can. But yeah.
That was...
Wow. That was powerful.
That was super powerful.
All right, really quick, Shane, tell everybody on Instagram where they can find us.
Where you can find us? Instagram, the Hopeaholics.
No, I mean this meeting.
Link in the bio.
Link in the bio. Thanks.
Recover Out Loud.
Recover Out Loud. Link in the bio.
Right.
Thanks, Natalie.
Yeah.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Always.
Look at all the people that are up there tonight. Look at that, guys.
Yeah.
Beautiful. Wow.
This was seriously, your story is incredible, and I love so many pieces of it. But what I really love, what stuck out to me, because my parents even say it to me, don't sell yourself short. Yeah. I always think that I can, especially when I was younger. Not so much now because I found my Mr. Miyagi and he roots me on. He thinks I could go be fucking president if I really wanted to.
That's so awesome.
As long as
we got to get that DUI taken care of.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Just put her back in her place.
Yeah, I know.
Good job.
I gotta get my record expunged real quick. But you're absolutely right. Where it's dream big.
Dream
big. Don't put yourself in a box.
Right.
Get the box.
Yeah.
She put stuff in everyone's got to get
the God box.
I know, but
you got to open the box.
Put into the box is so limiting.
Yeah.
Our God is not limiting.
No.
It's abundant. Literally, some of the
Girls,
things that you have accomplished now.
Incredible.
I'm sure people are looking when they knew you back then are like, what in the world?
Yeah.
How? And it's that's what we're searching for. That's what this program can do.
Exactly.
That's what happens when you take the bull by the horns and you're like, I'm done. God, help me lead the way. And then you have to be willing to do all of the footwork and all of the hard things that I know I myself, and I'm sure all of you guys in the meeting hate doing, but it works because you have your kids back. That's insane.
Yeah,
that's so abnormal to actually get your children back after that long of time.
Yeah.
Because we know once you're in the system, it's really hard to get them back out to you all together, especially.
It's so hard, and the things that they have you do, especially if there's some transference, and they don't like you, they'll make it.
Of course.
But it doesn't even matter, because if you're determined and you're on the right path, you're gonna get your kids back.
And how'd your four girls turn out? Can you tell us?
So I work with my eldest two daughters, Journey and Sierra. Journey's a nurse. Sierra's a lead behavioral health tech in a treatment center.
Incredible.
And the twins are amazing. They're 15. One of them plays 9 instruments.
Wow.
And the other one's like a girly girl.
Wow.
And they're just, they love the Lord. They have forgiven on their own time. It's been 9 years, and I would encourage any family, anyone who's struggling with either forgiving their parents or having their children forgive them. There's no time limit. You know, I had to take a lot of abusive, teenage stuff
Sure.
from my, and
course.
rightly so.
Yeah.
I just prayed and I said, you know what? They're not angry. They're hurt.
Yeah.
And I let time heal it.
Mm-hmm.
I prayed and I had faith and I let time heal it. And you know what? I knew they wouldn't listen to me, so I prayed for the Lord to send someone into their life that they would listen to. And he ended up putting us all in the same treatment center.
Yeah.
And they got to help people and understand that addiction is like cancer.
Yep.
And it's disgusting, and it's just the way it creeps in every crack and crevices, and it just likes to divide. And it's the enemy's favorite thing to divide. And so once they started talking to other women who are, crying because their kids didn't like them or they lost their kids, they were able to comfort other women. They started to see me less as a villain and more as like a mom who hurt and healed.
Yeah. Which is beautiful.
Yeah.
And that's the powerful thing about you doing the work. Because if you weren't doing the work, none of that would have happened.
None of it.
So, it's impressive because 9 years really isn't that long of time for as much amazingness and all of the miracles and promises that have happened in your life.
Yeah.
It's a short amount of time for putting together what you have now as opposed to then.
Yeah.
Your story is incredible.
And I'll never use Home Depot scissors, especially rusty ones to my hair. There's triggers I have now. I'm like, get those away from me. But yeah.
The first thing that I thought about was when you talked about that, I was thinking like immediately like Britney Spears walking out of the gas station bathroom,
My grandmother, it's depression. My grandmother did the
Yeah.
same thing when she was depressed. She cut her hair, and the lady called, said, your grandmother's cutting her hair, just let her do it, It's sort of depression and that, It's,
And I didn't know what it was, but I did know that I was struggling with suicidal thoughts.
Sure.
Because, and a pastor's wife told me when I was fighting for my kids, she said, God knows the mama's heart. She whispered it in my ear when I went up to have her lay hands on me. And I'll never forget that. She said, don't you worry, God knows the mama's heart. And he knows the daddy's heart too. And, whatever we're putting our mind to and we're following goals, if we add God into that or our higher power into that or something greater than ourselves, there's no way that we're going to fail.
Yeah.
It may not be that particular what we want, but what ends up happening is something so much better.
Always.
It's always so much better.
Bigger.
Yeah, bigger.
Louder.
I would have never imagined. Can you turn up my headphones just like a little bit? Because I can barely hear it now. That's
Thank
better.
you.
Chad likes to hear himself.
Just so you guys.
She did what you want. She got you back, man. It took 5, 10 minutes. She's
That was good.
Yeah.
She's good.
Guys,
Oh.
thank you.
Just so you guys know, you can hear yourself in the headphones when you talk, and I just.
You know what song just came to mind when you did that? She's a bad little bitch. She's a rebel. She's a devil. She's a bad. Yeah.
Have you seen this
Yeah.
girl?
Those are like
Devil.
TikTok
She's a
TikTok
rebel.
dances.
My daughter
Man,
says
let's amazing story.
Amazing.
Beautiful.
Absolutely
I just want
powerful.
you to know this is a big crowd we have tonight, and as well, we stayed very steady on the Instagram live. I don't normally do that, but I felt compelled to do that. We stayed steady with 60 people
Oh, wow.
watching and
Wow.
commenting the
Yeah,
whole
that's
time.
great.
So
Right
that's
on.
amazing. Hopefully, some of them all showed up here.
Yeah.
Because man, this whole deal, this Recover Out Loud, this is a movement, and it's about saving people's lives. Because I fortunately got sober before fentanyl became a thing. I unfortunately lost a son-in-law to fentanyl a year ago, and that's why this podcast exists, because we're out here being the voice for the people that no longer have the voice. Getting loaded today is like playing Russian roulette with 5 bullets in the chamber. You got one little chance of maybe surviving. I've worked in addiction treatment myself for 22 years, and the last 4 years we have seen so many people dying from fentanyl, and we're just going to keep doing this and keep going at it until we can force change at the highest level. I had the honor and privilege today. I hope you guys all that are watching this when the podcast drops, it'll be called Judge Anderson. He was my drug court judge, and he retired from the bench, so he was able to come down to the podcast studio
Yeah.
Wow.
and participate. It was his first ever
Yeah,
podcast.
it was. I made sure of that.
But I mean,
Yeah.
that's another miracle. I mean, that's insane. You know,
Yeah.
there's a judge that, he had to go watch this individual walking in a mess and have to get through his program, which Chad obviously did. And then now he gets to come here and sit and look at some of the things that that individual created.
And accomplished.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
It's absolutely beautiful.
The gifts are
They're real.
They're real. The promises are real. The gifts are real.
Yeah.
I mean, in the program that I choose to attend, they only have one promise, and that's freedom from active addiction. But so much comes from freedom from active addiction.
Yeah.
I get to live a life beyond my wildest dreams today that I never ever thought that I would be able to live. And it's by the grace of God. So thank you so much
Yeah.
for your share.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks
It was
for the.
amazing.
I'm just. We're blessed and honored to have you here,
Yeah.
guys. We're gonna open it up for sharing on the Zoom. I just want to remind everybody that it's a 3 minutes. So at the 3-minute mark,
Honor system today. Honor system.
Do you want me to give
at the 3-minute mark,
Yeah.
Sean will.
Sean.
Sean?
what's going on,
Avi.
Sean?
Avi. Thanks, Avi. Thanks, Avi.
Is that a timer?
Is it no? We'll just kind of do it on the honor
Yeah.
system. Just about around the 3-minute mark, Shane will say, "This is Sean," and we'll wrap it up. Is that cool? Who wants to share? Raise your virtual hand.
Yeah.
We
Let's
will.
Go, baby. Let's go.
We will get you live in
Yeah.
the studio and on YouTube.
Yeah. Crickets.
Don't be
You
shy.
got crickets. Come on.
Don't be shy, guys.
Wow.
But you know what? I
That's a nice
I
little
really
oh,
love.
there she goes. She's raising her. We got one raising.
We got
her
Yeah.
one,
hand.
two.
There we go.
We got three. All right.
Can we
so
get four?
We got four.
We got four.
Can we get another five? Can we get another six?
Seven. Now we got.
All right.
Don't get them started.
So,
All right, let's pick. Rachel raised her hand first, so go to Rachel, and then we'll go in order of our screen. She got to roll.
Here I am.
Oh, there we go.
There we go. You're
Hey, that was a great share. I can relate to a lot of those things. My daughter's now 23 and she's my best friend. I, like you, didn't know if she'd ever be able to forgive me. I OD'd and she found me and had to call 911 and DCFS took her. And I recently found out that all that time I didn't see her from April to October. And during that time, I was still in active addiction. I prayed to God every time I pushed the plunger to have my heart explode, and he said no. And I called my ex-husband and said, hey, if I sign away my parental rights, will you let her see me when she's ready? And he said yes. And I just found out in the last month that all that time, she thought that I signed my parental rights away so I wouldn't get a criminal charge and go to jail. And like, we have such a good relationship now. I said, Savannah, there's something you have to know. Like, that's not why I signed that away. Like, I didn't know if I could stay sober. I didn't want you to be worried that you might have to go to a foster home if something happened. So that's why I signed away my rights. Because I know she told me before, she wondered why I didn't try to get her back. But God does work miracles. Haven't had a needle in my arm in a long time, and had something really horrible happen last week, and I went to my counselor, and I didn't do what I wanted to do, what I would have done 10 years ago. But I went to my counselor. I'm also in school. I just finished my first semester in my bachelor's program, 4.0.
Amazing,
Yay.
amazing.
Nice.
Yay.
But instead of doing what I wanted to do, because I wanted to murder this man, I went and talked to my counselor, and she talked me down. And one of my favorite verses in the Bible is, do good to those who do evil. It's like heaping burning coals on their head. And I think when Jesus made me, he knew that I really wanted to dump the burning coals on people's heads. So I'm nice and I'm doing the right thing. But that was a great share. I'm hoping and praying that everything's going to work this time. But then I also think if it doesn't, God's still good, right?
All the
Even if.
time.
And even if, I'm still going to stay sober, I'm still going to stay clean, and I'm going to get my doctorate. That's what I've decided. So
Amazing.
thanks for your share. It was great.
Good for
Thank
you.
you.
Awesome.
Congratulations.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks, Rachel.
Rachel has definitely been a regular
Yes,
since
she has.
day
Yeah.
Uno.
1.
Yeah.
Appreciate
Day
it.
1. So amazing. We appreciate you so much, and thanks for sharing.
Top
All
left.
right, top left, we've got
We don't know.
The
We
name.
don't know the name yet.
that's
Come
because
on, Emily. Move.
Come on, Emily.
Charles. Charles.
Come on, Emily. Get it together, girl.
Guys,
Charles
this is-
really
guys,
worked on
Emily's
his
literally
beard and
the-
mustache going here. Look at him. He really curled it down. It's pointed perfectly.
just
There you go.
Emily
It's
is
pirate-like.
one of
Emily's the sweetest person
Yes.
ever, and we're
It's
making her
pirate.
sweat.
Is that the goal? Pirate-like?
I actually am a ex-Navy sailor, so
There we go.
technically,
You are a pirate.
yeah, I'm definitely a pirate.
Are you
It's,
going to work the mustache out to curl it? Or is it curling
yeah, I
already?
do
We just don't
usually.
see it.
It's just y'all caught me. Y'all caught me. I just have the beard oil. Usually, I get the wax. And I'll
Okay,
do the whole.
nice.
Nice.
Nice. Yeah,
It
yeah.
looks
Yeah.
good.
It does look good.
Thank you.
Yeah, bro.
I appreciate
Of
it.
course.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, my name's Charles. I am a grateful recovering drug addict. My sobriety date's 5/19/23. Drug of choice ended up being methamphetamine. I don't know, I think my story started in the womb, really. My mom and dad both used pretty heavily. They weren't in my life until like 5th grade, so my grandparents raised me. My grandpa was actually in the army, so he met my grandma in Japan. So like I grew up in kind of a weird, interesting, multicultural household with this Japanese lady, and she raised me, which was really cool. But because of that, like I actually went through, molestation when I was young from neighbors. They were older kids, and I think that really started the hurt in my heart, right? It's something that like through now treatment and recovery, I'm willing and able to talk about just to help spread hope with other people that maybe have gone through the same thing. But because of that, I started using drugs really early, 6th, 7th grade, drinking, smoking weed, and it ended up being pills and Oxycontin, everything that you could freaking think of, right? I do. And got kicked out of school senior year, so I had to go to a continuation school. And then at this point I decided, my grandmother requested I went to the Navy, or just join the military in general to kind of find some purpose for myself. So at that point, I left, but I got my child's mother pregnant. She was struggling. We were both doing a lot of opiates at the time. So I actually detoxed in boot camp from opiates, and I was dying. Like, I didn't tell anybody, and thought that this would fix me while she was pregnant. Everything kind of crashed and burned and went downhill. She left me for my best friend. I don't want to air out her dirty laundry. I have love for her still. She's, a human being, and she's changed a lot in her life, and so have I. But I actually had to take custody of my kid while I was in the military, but I ended up just drinking, lost my father and my grandmother in like 6 months. So got really drunk, and spice was a big thing. So I lost my military career after 5 years, which I was an excellent sailor, sailor of the year, 4.0 evaluations, getting accommodations. I did everything from, my main job was a supply guy, but, my ship was ballistic missile defense. So we would actually, make sure nothing goes boom. And, I was a 50 cal gunner on my ship. I did boarding parties, all the trainings, anti-terrorism trainings, did all of that stuff. And after 5 years, because of that, I had to go to rehab. I was late to work and, became suicidal. So I actually got 5150'd in the military, and, from there had to do rehab, which I graduated, but I lost my my contract. I re-enlisted. I was planning on doing 20 years, and so it sucks after being around the world, living in Italy. I had a backpack of clothes and a Greyhound ticket to go home with, and a full custody of a 5-year-old kid I never saw. So I went home, and then that turned into more drinking, and that's when I found meth. And from there, it has been a struggle for the last 10 years. Like it was up and down, 2 years sober, a year and a half, lost a marriage, 4 stepdaughters, a house, a career doing sushi. And, I've worked in fine dining. I've done that. I moved my way to working in kitchens, and, it ended up with me homeless last year after my grandfather died about a year and a half ago. Caught my first case, got incarcerated, and at the age now of 34, it's like I'm sitting there, thankfully God has opened up the doors for me to try to get my record sealed through like a mental health diversion for
That's 3 minutes. Can we just wrap
PTSD
it
and
up?
depression diagnoses. I have 6 months clean today. I relapsed once this year. I would have about a year now, but I'm really grateful. The hope is that there's a future every day that I'm waking up. And this is just a minuscule amount of like the things really that I've been through. It gets pretty deep. So, but I got a case manager that's a 20-year Navy vet. I'm looking at maybe trying to get some benefits. I'm just trying to fight for the things that I feel that I work towards and earned. But at the same time, this journey for me personally is taking personal accountability. Like I haven't seen my son in 2 years, and I had full custody of him, raised him for 12 years of his life, and it's a good share that I heard because, hearing about getting your kids back, that's one of the big things. That's what made me relapse. I tried to talk to him, and his
Right.
grandmother said he didn't want anything to do with me, and that was like my
Let's wrap it
roadblock.
up.
So, it hit really hard. A friend died of fentanyl overdose. So both of the circumstances that everybody else is going through, I feel deeply for that stuff. And, this is the first time in my life I'm really off the pink cloud though. Like I'm looking at myself in the mirror and I'm saying like, it's just one thought. It's one decision. It's one little thing that I'll obsess over and allow that to take me out. So I'm just really trying to go about this time with more service, being more open to share, and really just dig into the NA community, the AA community, and try to change my life because I want my son back. I want life. I want love. I want relationship. And it's just it is amazing. It's an amazing program. I can laugh. I can have fun. I go to the gym. I'm free. I'm not in a jail cell this Christmas. So like those are the blessings, I'm looking at it.
Yeah.
I don't have to dig through trash to
We
go
got to wrap
find
it up,
kids.
buddy. Sorry. That's it. We're,
Oh, yeah,
we're
no
yeah,
worries.
cutting off.
Yeah.
Cutting off.
We're glad you're here.
Yeah, bro.
Sure, and keep showing
I
up.
gave you 5 minutes, man. I let you go over because I'm a softie, but I'm not going to do it for the next guy. 3 minutes. I'm cutting you off because we got a lot of people here. I'm sorry if I sound rude. I love you all.
Yeah, and we're happy you're here.
Yeah, we're happy you're here, bro.
You're doing the
Yeah, man.
doing the deal.
You got this.
Get that box and put those beautiful thoughts
You
in
got
that box, and you're going to get that kid back. I'm telling
Yep.
you.
For sure.
Yeah, bro. Thank you.
Coco is up.
Coco, you're up.
Coco.
3 minutes, Coco.
We can hear you, I think. Are you talking?
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
We can
You
hear
can
you.
hear your TV.
Okay, no, there's no TV on.
Yeah. that's
I'm
just-
gonna make this short and sweet. So Audra, honey, I heard you share on a panel, and this is we have a lot in common, and my frustration is I hear all the time, just do what you're supposed to do, stay sober, and you'll get your kids back. I was sober for a year and a half. I did everything I was supposed to do. And the only reason I lost her was because I went into treatment voluntarily. And my ex went in for the kill. And so for the last 19 years, I've destroyed my life. And because once he took her from me, I just didn't want to live anymore. And So now, I was offered an opportunity to get some help and I'm taking it. But I still have resentment um, of not having her in my life. But at the same time, if she had, I don't know, I'm torn. If she had been brought into my life, I wouldn't be where I am with God right now. Um, he had told me that I had put her above him, and I had. She was my God. She was everything I ever wanted. I still struggle and I'm so, so, so happy for you
Thank you.
that you got your daughters back. At the same time, I struggle with jealousy because I don't. And the chances of that happening are slim to none. And so I guess I just have to get into acceptance. So that's all I have to say. I just want to say thank you for your share.
Thank you, Coco.
Thanks, Coco.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Coco, that's Shane's daughter's name.
Yeah.
Thank you for your share.
Sure.
And keep coming back. Keep doing the deal. I know that you're doing the deal. You're here.
Yep.
You're making progress.
I see you in group, Coco. I see you. You're doing the work.
You're so sweet, Natalie. Like honestly, like I was just talking to Alex about you, and I said she's so darn sweet, man. And you are, and I appreciate you and your support, and I can feel it's genuine. And you two guys, like I owe you my life, man. And I'm not just saying that to blow smoke. Like you guys, you just did something, and I thank you sincerely for this opportunity.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure. All right. Who's up next? Emily?
Colleen?
Nope, that was Colleen.
Victor?
Victor, you got 3 minutes or
Let's make it 2.5. Bark at the moon. Ow! Victor's up, baby.
What's up, guys?
Hey, bro.
Hi, Victor.
Victor, addict. Thank you for your share. There's a lot of hope in that story, and it gives me hope. And I guess the biggest thing I got out of it, right, is the timing, because we live in a world with next day delivery and movies on demand and everything, so we can kind of get used to wanting instant results.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, my timeline isn't shit, right? So everything's gonna happen on God's time, and that's a hard pill to swallow, kind of. But at the end of the day, he's the one running the show, and I'll just take it one day at a time, and just be grateful for the opportunity that he's given to me. I like how you shared kind of about that void, and one of my brothers in one of the meetings I go to, he talks about, we're always trying to fill a void, and it can't get filled with everything we're trying to put in it, and it's kind of a God-shaped void. That's his theory.
Right.
So when you fill that void with God or your higher power, you become full. But also gotta be diligent, right? Because at the end of the day, my drug of choice is more, right? Whether it's more validation, more money, more, just whatever, more. So when I catch myself wanting more, I kind of have to take a step back and, just let the man behind the scenes work, because I can't be the actor, the director, the band, everything, like it says, in the big book. I just gotta learn to accept things on God's time, and everything will happen the way it has. Grateful to be here, grateful for all of you guys, and thank you.
Awesome.
Thanks, Victor.
Amazing.
Thanks, Victor.
Awesome. Thank you, Victor.
Good to see you.
Next, we got our man Julian.
What's going on, you guys? How y'all doing?
We're
Great.
doing
Good.
amazing.
How
Man, I'm blessed and highly favored. You hear?
Mhm.
First of all, I want to thank the guest speaker. Man, that was a good share. That was so awesome. I'm happy for you, man. I just pray that you continue on. leading the way, continue on to being a blessing in people's lives, man. There was so a little bit about me right quick. I'm a recovering heroin addict. My name's Julian. I'm Boston's top motivational speaker. I'm a recovering heroin addict. I've been clean for 17 years. I did 8.5 years in the feds for unarmed bank robbery. So I've been home 9 years now, and I changed my life. I came home, got my CDL license, and I've been driving the cement truck for the last 7 years. But the last 4 years, I've been doing motivational speaking. So that's my way of giving back. Because the thing is, man, if like when we share our story like this, like come together like this, share our story, you just never know who you're gonna be helping. Your story can be life changing to somebody else, and just I'm shooting this out there, man, because a lot of people in the early stages of recovery, man, and I remember when I was in my early stages, like I thought I was never gonna make it. I thought I was never gonna get through to it. I thought I was just gonna, just gonna do my time and then just boom, and then it was over. But what happened was I found the reason, I found the purpose, and I found my why. My why is my daughter, and she's my rod and staff. And by the grace of God, I'm here today to share my story with you guys. And my daughter, she pulls me through everything. Like when I think of her, she pulls me through. So just another thing. For the guest speaker, what's your name again?
Audra.
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 There was one thing I related with you, man, when you lost your parents, and sorry to hear about losing your parents, but I went through the same thing. I never knew my father, but I lost my mother. 2 years ago in an 8-month period, I lost my mother, my brother, 2 of my best friends, my job, and my apartment. Like I could have easily gave up on life, I could have easily relapsed. I could have easily went back to the streets and, did my thing, but I didn't because I surrounded myself with people that are doing better than me or heading the same way I'm going. And these are the people that we need to, to keep around us. So another thing is I just, a lot of times we let our past, man, hold us back from going to the future, from moving forward. Just continue to get around people like us, right? Continue to build, continue to ask for help. Don't be afraid to ask for help. You're not in this alone. And, if y'all, my line is open for you guys. Whoever's on this line, y'all can reach out to me on social media or whatever, and I'll always respond. Thank you. That's my time, man. I'm out.
Awesome. Thank you, Julian. Love that share.
Yeah.
Love to hear what you're doing with your motivational speaking. Not that any of this is about us, but did you guys know that we became the #1 podcast for an addiction treatment? An addiction.
Awesome.
Amazing.
And we were the top 5% on Spotify.
Wow.
That's cool.
That is like a blessing and a gift.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Hope Lodge is in the house. I wanna hear what Hope Lodge has to
Hope
say.
Lodge.
I know that program. Heard of it before.
Hey guys, yeah, I was in y'all's hey Carly, I was actually in y'all's podcast at the beach, and I'm back. Sad to
Oh my
say,
God,
but-
yes. I remember you.
Yes. So I had, after I got out, Hope by the Sea is so wonderful. Like, it was such a blessing for me. I was going to church every day. I was waking up on time every day. I was clean for like 3 months when I left Hope by the Sea, but I ended up relapsing because of depression, the things that I had going on. So now I'm back. I'm retrying it. I'm 24 years old, and I just know I can do it this time, and I got hope in me, and I just know I'm going to get through it, because it's kind of like he said, you're playing Russian roulette with your life, and I'm so glad I never OD'd before. I was up to snorting 6 pills a day, and I never OD'd before, so I'm blessed for that. And yeah, I just want to share with y'all,
Yeah.
I'm so happy.
Where are you at? You in Costa Mesa or Lake Arrowhead?
Lake Arrowhead.
Lake Arrowhead.
Lake Arrowhead, yeah.
Can you tell
So I'm giving it a try.
Can you tell my
Yes.
friend over there I said hi?
Victoria says hi.
Hi,
I'm
Victoria.
just hiding.
Yeah.
No, but that's
Put your face on the camera. Say hi to me.
Oh.
Huh? No? All right.
She right here.
There she is. Hi, Vicky. What's going on?
Nothing.
All right.
But that's amazing. I'm happy that you came back because that's what it's all about.
You just got to keep coming
Yeah,
back. You
relapse
just can't
is a part
give
of
up,
my
man.
story, part of Chad's
Part
story.
of Chad's
like,
story.
It's
Shane's in the middle of a relapse right now, but he keeps showing up.
I just keep fucking showing up. It's inevitable. I show up.
He just keeps showing up every day, and we
here,
keep giving him. We try to keep giving him some hope. you know?
Yeah. We're gonna get some food in me tomorrow. Finally, hopefully, they're gonna feed me here.
Yeah.
I got my bed in the corner. Arr.
Is
that's
it
wonderful.
Who's left? Is that Zam?
No, we got one. We got one more.
No, is that Zamzow?
Yeah.
Is that Chuck Zamzow?
Chuck.
Oh yeah. What's going on, Chuck?
Chuck, you got 1 minute, bro.
No, you don't.
I'm joking. 3 minutes.
There was some other hands raised. A couple people's hands went down or something.
Yeah.
You know, we don't stop this meeting just because it's 7 o'clock.
No,
man.
hell no.
It's like, man.
Hell no. It's not like we got 3 kids waiting at home and a wife. You fucking kidding me? Shit. Stay till 9, man. Let's go.
Yeah.
We'll stay till 9 if everybody wants to share.
Yeah.
Well, I will. Over the
I'll be.
Emily. It's overtime, so she's like out of here. But we'll do it. You're up, Chuck. I said up, Chuck.
Oh my God.
You're up, Chuck. You sit up, Chuck.
I did. I
Funny.
said, yeah,
I
right?
didn't realize that. You sit
Yeah.
up, Chuck.
Chad is
Yeah.
literally 5.
I mean,
Wow.
yeah,
You
guys,
are
I'm
out of
sorry,
control over
man.
there,
Yeah.
man.
Wow.
Yeah, you.
This is what I have to deal with on a daily basis.
Wow. I up chucked.
No,
That is
he's-
funny. You're up, Chuck. I can't get enough of it now.
We love Chuck though because Chuck's got the best last name of anybody because you can just like
Zamzow.
Zamzow. Like, could you
Yeah.
imagine if
Okay,
you
let
played
Chuck
sports,
go.
Chuck? Like, up,
Sam's coming down the right way. There goes Sam's. Score!
you probably just
guys.
ruined everybody's ears right now because you were up on the mic.
Up on the mic. All right.
All right. We got to calm it down in here
Yeah,
a little
calm
bit
down,
because
boys.
this is
Let Chuck
serious,
speak.
and we want Chuck. We want to hear what Chuck has
If I
to
ruined
say.
anyone's iPhone, fucking send me the bill. I'll fucking throw you a few dollars.
You guys hear me all right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
All right, cool. You guys are out of control over there, man.
yeah.
Out of control. What was I going to say here since I got all distracted there for
See?
a second?
They distracted you, Chuck. It's okay.
Common solution comes to mind today. I heard in the story there, she was talking about stepping outside the comfort zone and stepping outside the bubble. That was hard for me to do at first too. I can remember a lot of those things when I look back. Man, I'm trying not to rush through this today.
Don't rush. We're not going anywhere, bro.
Man, it's so easy to rest on my laurels sometimes. And when I sit back and do that, and I sit back and realize when I do that, why am I doing that? I usually get other people to push me here and there. And I always start doubting myself. It's always that self-doubt that always keeps me in that hula hoop sometimes. And I guess that's from when I was growing up too. It's not part of my story, but I've always been doubted a lot in my life, and I always have to have that. I got to show them attitude all the time and have a chip on my shoulder. But today I don't have to do that. I just suit up and show up and do the best I can. And a lot of good things come out of it. Been doing some 12-step work today, buying coffee for the group and doing some other things, just doing things I don't normally do. And we don't really have a huge community over here. So usually when I see coffee run low, I'll go buy it. No big deal. And just doing my part, doing the next right thing. And a lot of good things said tonight. I always like hearing Julie and like hearing you guys. And I always say to I was talking to my dad tonight because he's celebrating 30 years tomorrow. And,
Wow.
He looked at me tonight. He goes, how much time do you got? I said, over 15. And I said, that's kind of coincidence. You got 30 and I got 15. So it's great to have that relationship with my father today. Still working on it, but it's great. And I also heard about the family part too. I remember I want to say between 4 and 6 years into my sobriety, I remember my mom saying she had her kid back. So that for me was telling me I was doing the actions of the next right thing and keep moving forward. And, me and my sponsor, my first sponsor, man, he taught me a lot of shit, man. Taught me a lot of stuff. And that was part of it is the action is keep doing what you're doing, but do the right thing, and the actions will, in the end, tell people what's going on. And to hear that from my mom was like, it sent a lot of emotions. It sent a lot of emotions. I'm a very emotionless guy at times, so it's hard for this nut to crack. But when it happens, it happens. And I'm grateful for all those moments today, getting to see my parents right now, because there's going to come a time where I'm going to have that time they're not going to be here. Mm-hmm. But I know in that blue book, it's going to help me out through those times, and the people around the tables is going to help me through those times too. And grateful for that. Grateful for you guys, and that's all I got.
Awesome. Thanks, Chuck.
Thanks, Chuck, man. Always grateful to have you. And damn, Chuck, you got 15 years?
Yeah, it's
Yes,
amazing.
Sir.
That is incredible.
Yeah, that's
like,
awesome.
We got a guy coming to our Recover Out Loud Zoom meeting with 15
Fucking
years.
A.
Yeah.
Clean.
Clean.
And serene. Have you been serene the whole time?
No. No.
Ebbs and
No.
flows, ebbs and
Not
flows.
Chuck. Not Chuck.
Guys, I want to... did we unmute Chuck?
Is that it? Is there anyone else that needs to speak? Raise your real hand. All right.
Oh, my God.
Oh, look.
There's a guy that wants to speak.
He had his hand up before, and he didn't. He shut
He
it
did?
down. Yeah, yeah.
You want to share, bud?
Let's go over the people.
Michael.
Michael.
Oh, Michael.
Michael.
Yeah, I can share if you want me to.
Yeah, if you want.
Sure, why not? I appreciate you guys and what you do. My sobriety is it's a lot better than it was before. It's not perfect, but it's working out daily. Anyway, one thing I noticed, I go to a lot of meetings and a lot of people want to talk about things that they're sad about, and I get that. I understand that if you have issues going on and whatnot, I get it. But I want meetings that for at least myself to be a part of to talk about things that aren't depressing or sad. So like I recently purchased a journal and I wrote down some fundamentals. I wrote down generosity, gratitude, and relentlessness, as opposed to focusing on things that I can bitch and cry about. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't want to talk to people about things that was hurting my feelings or whatever. Fuck my feelings. Like, you kind of have to man up and just, like, it's a really difficult thing to discuss. And sorry for the background noise. My family's making dinner right now, but I want to talk about positive things as opposed to my personal problems. I don't think talking about my personal problems is going to help the community. I think talking about positive, I'm not a public speaker, obviously, so I apologize for all this, but just I want to talk about positive things as opposed to things that make me sad and this happened to me and this, that, woe is me. Like, fuck all that shit. Like, I want to talk about things that you should focus on that is positive. Be generous. Be grateful for what you have. And be relentless to what you want to achieve. And I don't know. At this point, that's pretty much it. But I just want to focus on the positive, not the negative. And I hope everyone else agrees with me.
I agree with you. I like going to meetings where people, because the program is really about solution, right? And it's like we talk about our problems and how we get through them. Or sometimes you're in a meeting, you don't know how to get through a problem, and that and when you share that, there's somebody else that has gone through that problem that can help you through that problem. But I love to be solution oriented. You can find everything that you need. You can truly find everything that you need in the steps. You can find everything that you need in God, and and the steps are that tool to get you to that spiritual experience to be able to carry a message of hope. And that's what I love. Can you scroll down on the chat real quick, because there was a guy that chatted. His name was Harold, and I thought it was really cool. He said that keep going, right there. Love this. This guy Harold says sober November 25th, 2019. I've been sober thanks to Hope by the Sea, giving the direction and strength to move forward. I'm glad that I found this podcast. God bless. Thank you, Harold. That is amazing. I'm not sure if he's still on because I don't see his name up there, but maybe he is.
But but I love that because kind of piggybacking on, I get what Michael you're saying. There is always like a share that when you're sitting in meetings, there's obviously appropriate times where it makes sense of somebody like going through like a certain situation in their life, then it makes sense. But when you're hearing like somebody sitting in their shit, it's like, okay, well, what are you gonna do about it? So it's like, that's why I love the Hopeaholics, the podcast and everything, because we get out of it. You got to move forward. You got to keep pushing. Life is hard. You're going to go through trials and tribulations, getting sober and then being sober. Yeah. So it's like you have to spread that message, and that's what it's all about, is spreading that hope, where it's like some days are going to be great and some days aren't, but this is what you do. And relentless is one of my favorite words. So I love it.
It's a great book called Relentless.
Yep. Wait, last thing. My sponsor always told me, because I used to call her and bitch and complain about like, these meetings suck, whatever. And she's like, are you sharing? Are you participating? Why don't you share what you're complaining about your meetings? Raise your hand. So I'm glad that you shared, Michael, because that's what it's about. It's about you participating and contributing to the meetings so that you could put forth that energy into it. Because trust me, energy feeds off of one another. And so you sparkling that little sprinkle in there, people are going to feed off of it and want to pick up and continue sharing like that as well.
Yeah.
So
in every meeting, everything you do in life, not just meetings, but everything you show up for, what you put in, you get out.
Yeah.
That's right.
And that's just how it works. That's how the meetings work. Couple announcements. There's amazing podcasts that just dropped tonight. Cooper's dad is Harold Noriega, who is Cooper Noriega's father. He died. He was a famous TikToker, Cooper Noriega. He died from fentanyl about a year ago. His dad came on our podcast and told his version of the story. So if you want to hear something powerful, if you want to get grateful, come check out this podcast. It's absolutely phenomenal. I had another announcement, but I forgot what it was.
And we're 8 minutes over, just so that we're being cognizant of everyone's time.
Yeah, 8 minutes over. What's the last announcement, bro?
I can't remember, so it doesn't matter.
Okay.
All right, guys.
We appreciate you guys showing up every single week.
Yeah.
This is what it's all about, building our community, because without one another, it's, as
Dead.
we know,
Dead.
It's very hard to do this thing alone. So the fact that you guys are showing up and participating and
3 new
being here
messages.
is
Scroll down,
amazing.
please.
Shane, literally, like, you don't even know, you're not, so you say something and then you don't even contribute to what, good Lord.
Awesome, Harold. Thank you guys all for attending tonight, man. We will see you next week.
We're gonna do our prayer.
We're gonna pray out right now.
Do the dance
we
yet.
can't do the dance because we still haven't figured out the.
Yeah, there you go. Michael already is doing.
All right, let's go ahead, everybody. Let's go. I want to see everybody. Let's go. All right, yeah. I got almost every screen.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
Like
God,
Grant
grant me the serenity to accept things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
I love you guys.
Yeah, I love you guys. See you next week.
See you next week.